I'm reading, this is from a work in progress, I'm not reading from the novel, this is from a new novel in progress. And just to kind of set this up, it's a romance story between a young man who's about 25 and a woman who's about 50. And takes place in the 80s. And this action comes in the middle of the scene, but I think you'll kind of pick up pretty quickly what's going on. Juliet stretched out her arms and arched her back, her head slipping over the foot of Eddie's bed. Eddie kneeled at her feet and ran his fingers along her calf. She laughed. He gently kneaded the muscle. Is this how you do it? She shifted, a little higher up. Her flesh was smooth and radiated a strong heat. Even in the dim light, her pale skin appeared translucent, almost luminous. It occurred to Eddie that he'd never really felt a woman's leg before, not like this. He traced his fingers up the inside of her thigh. She slapped his hand away. Behave! Eddie parted her legs and sank toward her, only to find her foot suddenly against his chest, pushing him backward and pinning him against the headboard. I thought we were going to... Tell me something. She pushed herself up on her elbows and leveled her blue gaze at him. Anything. He meant it. Tell me something you've never told anyone before. Like what? A secret. A big one. Eddie took a deep breath. Okay, when I was a kid, how old? About 6. Eddie caught himself. The big secret behind the little secret was suddenly eager to get out. A secret so big, Eddie had almost forgotten it himself. The room shifted. He felt trapped. Her foot pressed harder against his chest. The headboard dug into his shoulders. When I was 6, I broke the garage door opener. Go on. Like the electric kind. I broke the motor. And I never told my father. He got real pissed because in the morning he couldn't get the car out and he missed his flight. Juliet's brows creased. And what else? He asked me about it and I lied. Her foot pressed in. And you're lying about it now. The ceiling seemed to darken and dip. Eddie's secrets crowded at the back of his throat. If one got out, the rest would make a break for it. Tell me. Juliet's gaze didn't waver. Eddie met her eyes, and the trapped feeling went away. Love poured out of Juliet as if she understood. In her eyes was an invitation to some other world, another way to live. The motor, she said. How exactly did you break it? I tried to hang myself from it. There, done. Silence. Juliet released her foot, released Eddie. When you say hang yourself, you mean, yeah. Eddie jerked one hand over his head and jutted out his tongue, just like that. Eddie, you're just a child. I guess. What was going on that you would even think? Eddie shrugged. I don't know, that's the funny thing. All my early memories are good ones. We had a nice house, a yard with a swing set, lots of friends. But something must have been going on. I don't know, my father was away a lot, my mother was kind of distant, but that doesn't sound like enough, right? Does it? Did you ever try again? Well, Eddie thought about the time when he was 12, and he'd held his father's loaded shotgun against his forehead. What Eddie remembered most about that Saturday was how bored he felt. He was home alone, and there was nothing on TV except golf. Well, I don't know if this counts, but one time I got my father's gun, and you know, he mimed the act. The memory of the cold metal came back sharp and real. Juliet nodded. But the safety was on the whole time, so it's not like anything real, right? And that time in the garage, I was just a little kid screwing around, right? Juliet shifted on the bed, and Eddie thought, that's it. She's out of here. He'd ruined the moment. But instead, she rolled toward him and pulled him down so they were facing each other, cross-legged. She covered his face and neck with kisses, her hands suddenly busy with him. Not the reaction Eddie expected. In one movement, she slipped forward into his lap, wrapped her legs around him. She smiled a pixie smile and laughed a soprano sparkle. She pulled his face into her breasts, so warm and fleshy against his cheeks. Then he was inside her, and everything beyond a physical union disappeared into nothingness. As a warm approach of climax tightened around him, she stopped and gripped his jaws with both hands. What? What are you... Look at me, Eddie. Oh, come on! Remember this moment. Eddie stopped and met her eyes. If you ever think about killing yourself again, remember this moment. Remember how this feels. Okay, this is being alive, Eddie. This is what it means to be alive. As long as we're alive, we get to do this. We get to be this. Okay, promise me you'll remember. I promise, he said, and he meant it.